Suspiria is the 1977 magnum opus by giallo and horror auteur Dario Argento. This was the follow-up to his remarkable giallo film Profondo Rosso from 1975, known in English-speaking countries better as Deep Red. This film incidentally starred Dario Argento, the then partner of Argento, but more importantly the co-writer of Suspiria with him as well. Suspiria has the reasonably basic plot of a young girl called Susie Bannion, portrayed by Jessica Harper in the film, travelling abroad to a dance school that she soon finds out is run by a coven of witches. Are you interested yet? The plot is admittedly simple, but Argento makes up for this in several ways. He quite literally uses his world-building skills to build a nightmare. One of the first things you will notice when watching Suspiria is the sheer grandeur of its visuals, and in particular its colour and set pieces. The director of photography on Suspiria, Luciano Tovoli, utilised lighting of bold primary colours and the then old-fashioned dye transfer Technicolor process to create what he states as a total abstraction from what we call everyday reality. Much of the film is also shot using untraditional angles, such as low angles, extreme wides with lots of headroom, etc., to assist in its separation from reality. Similarly, the set pieces are magnificent. The architecture of the sets and the buildings appear both gothic and geometric in style, but bright and contrasting in colour, which complements the cinematography. Check out the set in the first murder scene. The set is enormously intimidating and the antithesis of realistic architecture. The performances in Suspiria are uniquely odd. This is because of two distinct reasons. Firstly, the dance students in the film were written by Argento and Niccolodi to be between the ages of 8 and 10 years old, but the film's producer persuaded the two writers to change the age of the characters due to the intense nature and violent deaths of the film. However, some of the juvenile dialogue remained. A scene that highlights this is early on when Susie Bannion first meets her roommate, who is engaging in childish banter with another classmate, calling her a snake and hissing at her. The classmate responds by making noises and pulling faces.
See. Sarah. I once read that names which begin with the letter S are the names of snakes.
Secondly, Argento uses a filmmaking technique common practice in Italian films at the time, in which actors spoke with their native language and were dubbed in post-production. This was so Italian films could be more economically distributed abroad. Some actors were English-speaking, such as Harper, and others were Italian and German. For me personally, these factors contribute to the disconnect from reality and creates an uncanny valley-like effect. In film, you often find pairings of directors and musicians that contribute to the director's auteur status. Imagine Spielberg without John Williams, Hitchcock without Bernard Herrmann, Sergio Leone without Ennio Morricone. In the same way, Argento in his golden era was paired with Italian prog rock group Goblin. Goblin's soundtrack for Suspiria is insane, both musically and production-wise. The music is blaringly loud, and what some people describe as distracting, I find powerful and emotive. Goblin were granted a hefty 3 months to work with the final cut of Suspiria, so each piece of music was tailored to the image on the screen. This 3-month time period also allowed them to experiment with instruments irregular to most film composers at the time, such as the tabla, the bouzouki, as well as the at the time radical Moog synthesizer. The use of whispered voice, drones and screeching strings used with the Italian prog rock musicality gives the soundtrack a nightmarish soundscape. Now I will use the opening scene of the film to exemplify how Argento uses some of the aforementioned factors. The opening scene of the film starts with Susie Bannion arriving at the airport. There is a use of red light within the airport, but it is deceptively minimal compared to the exuberant colours of the rest of the film, and could still be considered to be grounded in reality. Susie is then seen walking through the busy airport, which generally feels realistic. There is no music and natural interior low lighting. A voice can be heard over a tannoy in the distance. It feels fairly normal. As Susie approaches closer and closer to the automatic doors, she sees them open to let people out. When the doors open, the Goblin theme can be heard, stopping when the doors close. This happens twice before she exits the building through the same doors, and the score continues from then onwards, as heavy rain, thunder and lightning surround her. Argento uses this strange technique to signify that Susie is stepping out of reality and into his nightmare world. She gets into a cab to go to her dance school and lodgings. As she is driven there, vivid primary coloured lights flash by indicating that she's heading deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. Incidentally, Argento, when writing the story, wanted to form a horror story that mimicked the reality shift of films like Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz with their bright, vibrant colours. Alice going down the rabbit hole, Dorothy entering from black and white into Munchkin Land, the bright, colourful land, etc. Hello and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, then please like the video and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us, and we aim to get a lot more of this type of video out soon. So yeah, please subscribe if you like this so you can be notified when our new videos come out. We plan to be doing some more very soon. We are very excited to bring you more. Thank you.